So good evening, everybody out there. This is Free to Heal. We come together every week so we can try to overcome the ravages of incarceration. And tonight's topic, I got it from somebody's Facebook post. And the young lady was saying, I now realize that it is not a man's responsibility to make a woman happy. And I want to broaden that conversation to this is my position, and I want you guys to chime in on it. My position is it's not anybody's responsibility to make anybody happy. First of all, happiness is a choice that you make. You can have bad circumstances and still choose to be happy. So I get concerned when I hear somebody say, um, somebody say, that is it somebody's job to make me happy. Just the same as you can't make me happy, you can't make me feel bad about myself either. I'm not going to allow that. I know who I am. I know what my worth is, and I have no intention on allowing anybody to cause me to feel bad about myself. So, what she was initially everybody was saying, well, yeah, that's good that you know that it's not your husband's job to make you happy. And then she says, yeah, but what I was saying was, if he knows the things that make me happy, he should be doing those things. Well, that's such a loaded statement to me, because are you taking into account what other things he's doing? In other words, if he's um trying to do some of the things that he knows that make you happy, that's fine. But what if he doesn't have time to do those things? Are you saying that now he doesn't love you? And then are you saying now that you're not going to be happy because those things are not happening? That was the thing that really concerned me about it. And I wanted to, again, discuss the concept that I really do believe that it's my responsibility to guard, protect, and make sure that I'm happy. It is not my responsibility, and particularly with this group of people, because as I've said to you guys before, oftentimes when you're incarcerated, family members, friends, acquaintances, they have a tendency to want you to be what they want you to be when you get out. It may be nothing like the person that went in, or it may be exactly the person that went in, and neither one is going to be true. And I've often taught in the group that we're not responsible for everybody else's expectations of us and who we are. So I want to open up the conversation about whose responsibility is it, and what your thoughts are on somebody saying, make me happy. So Pike wants to go first.
I think men should remember before they got married what they did. You know, when you used to hold her hand, when you used to call her all the time, when you went to her house to eat. And I'm not saying everything, but I'm saying remember the woman that you dated.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how much you loved her, and remember how much you wanted her. And then if you forget all that, then there's something wrong with you, not her.
And I can agree with that. I can agree with that. And I think, but that's a different notion than whether or not he's supposed to make her happy.
No, I'm saying as long as he can remember what he did to get you.
Mm-hmm.
And he still tries to do those things. He can't do all of it because now he's working and he's trying to make a living for you and give you a life. He can't do all them things, but he can do some of it.
Sure.
And she can do some of what she remembers she did. And if you got two of them honestly trying to do a little bit of both, you got a happy marriage.
Well, in theory, because
Why you say theory?
and I say in theory because a person's happiness isn't dependent on any of those things. It should not be. That's what winds up happening. A person, see what you're talking about is just having a good relationship and doing your part in the relationship.
Yeah.
This is about the underlying happiness of the people coming to the relationship. It's one of the reasons that I always say you need to bring your happy and let me bring my happy and then we could be
What
happy
I just
together.
said.
No, because what you said is you're remembering and what you're saying is true, but it's a nuance. It's deeper than just doing what you did because there are some people, for example, no matter what you do, they're
They
not
ain't
going
gonna
to
be
be happy.
happy.
Somebody was saying something.
Yeah, it was me. They're not gonna be happy.
They're just not. They're just not, and it has nothing to do. No matter what I do, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna make a difference with them. And if I try to put it off on the person that I'm with, that it's their job to keep me happy, that's not fair to them. But I do agree that what you're saying is that everybody should continue to do what you did to get it. Whatever you did to get it, keep doing what you're doing. That makes sense to me, and that is absolutely true. And that is a real thing. But this is about her saying that, well, I'm realizing it's obviously not a man's job to keep his wife happy. Well, it's not his job to keep her happy. It's not. What his job is to do what he's supposed to do to protect, provide, and all of those and the things that you talked about. But that is not going to determine whether or not this woman is happy if she's not happy on her own.
Well, I'm just saying that if she wasn't a fucking nut from the beginning, most marriages, if you go back 40 years, maybe 50 years, when men and women got married, the woman knew her job mostly was in the house and to raise the kids. The husband knew his job was to work and furnish them a home and stability. But as time has gone by, everybody wants to be their self. It's fucked up. I'm going to tell you it is. Those older people had more love, and that's why they were married for 50 years or till they died,
See, and I'm sorry, I just
So that's not true.
Right, because I believe that a lot of people stayed together because they had no choice but to stay together. They didn't have options. Women didn't have the options to just go off and earn and all that kind of stuff.
You're talking about fucked up husbands. I'm talking about a husband that cares for his wife and his kids, and he's going to go out and work, and he's going to support them. And they live together for, even when the kids are grown and gone, it's like my grandfather. My grandmother died before him. Everybody thought my grandfather would go first. He hurt so bad for a year earning for grandma that he died.
Mm-hmm.
He died of
a broken heart.
A broken heart.
Mm-hmm.
That was the connection.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you one little story. He cheated a couple times on grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma said, "You will never get in my bed again."
Mm-hmm.
And for the last 25 years that they were alive, Grandpa had his bed there and she had her bed there. But you couldn't pull those two apart.
But see, let me tell you something. That may not necessarily just be that they was in love with each other. It may have been circumstances. I will say this: definitely things have changed. But again, the question here is, first of all, the notion of another person being able to make you happy. I don't even think that that's really a thing. I think We can encourage, we can bring each other joy in certain areas. But if you're an unhappy person, in my experience, unhappy people are unhappy. And no matter what I do, no matter how much I sacrifice, no matter how many changes I try to make, no matter what I do, you're not going to be happy, because that's just not who you are. So I just am not a believer from my experience. I believe that the best chance we have in today's time is to have people come together healthy, happy, and whole, and meet another healthy, happy, whole person, and then you stand a chance of having a really good relationship. But in terms of whether or not this woman's husband is responsible to keep her happy or make her happy, I just don't think that's his job. I don't think that's his job. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, I want to shine in because to me, that job, there's no, that word shouldn't be in a relationship or in a marriage because it's no one's
Wait
job.
1 second, you guys, because I can't hear him. Go ahead, Lionel.
I said that word job in a relationship or marriage, it shouldn't be in there because it's not, to me, there's no one's job to make the person happy. There's no one's job for the woman to stay home. Then that part about a woman supposed to obey a man when they get married, that's a bunch of bull. But back in the days, women had it bad because then again, they wouldn't allow women to work. They wouldn't allow women to do a lot of things. But today's society, women is treated equally, most likely. You know, they treated equally the way it's supposed to go. But when it comes to love or your spouse or making that person happy, your love, getting to know this person or understanding this person or what this person is going through, it's like becoming the best friend with this person. That will make that person might not be happy because this person ain't giving her or him the materialistic things that person think to make you happy. That person could be loving that person to death, doing everything in the world for that person. But that person is not happy because this person want to live a certain lifestyle and stuff like that. And so when it comes to me, when it comes to making someone happy, my focus is on getting to know that person, getting to know what that person like doing or being a part of that person's life. It ain't about me. You know, if this person want to go someplace I don't want to go, I'm saying, hey, man, let's go where you want to go. Or, you know what I'm saying, let's do this and do that. It's like finding the middle ground, you know, of wanting to spend time together, wanting that person to spend time with you. And like going out, doing things that you normally don't do with this person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I say, it's about loving each other. And when you're loving each other is trying to make each other happy. It's not a one-way street as far as a man's job to make a woman happy or a woman's job to make that man happy. It's about loving one another. That's why you get with a person, basically in a relationship, because you want to spend the rest of your life with them. You feel good being with that person. If you don't feel good with that person, why are you with that person? Because you're not happy, unless you're in it for financial reasons, you know, and then you're never going to be happy. You're in it for financial reasons in a relationship. That's, you know, that's how I feel about that situation.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I feel like what you said, Noreen, and with the young lady who had, I call it her aha moment, or I would like to think it's an aha moment for her, because I had that same thing happen to me, and what I've learned is that, like you said, if you waiting on somebody else, if your happiness is attached to someone else, then you're in trouble. You know what I mean? You're in trouble because it's nobody's responsibility to make you happy. What I've learned is I'm responsible for my own happiness. And when I find someone, a mate, then she can't do the thing she can do is add to my happiness.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Wow. I wish I could tell you what Hall just said, but I'm not gonna.
Well, he better go on and say he better not, you know what, he better cut it out. See, he gonna get in trouble. He gonna get in trouble.
But I'm a firm believer in, because I have to be happy, or we all have to be happy if we don't find nobody.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Our life has to continue to go on. So I like the place that I'm in, and I like the way I think in terms of, and the way you just said it, in terms of, we're responsible for our own happiness. You know what I mean? And if you can find somebody that can add to that happiness,
Right.
hey, more the better, more the better. Because when they do leave, or if it do break up, or I'm still happy with being me, and happy with well, I have to make my life feel, you know, as happy as I can make it. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
it's not a good thing when a person's happiness is tied to another person. And
It's
I think
not.
the lady that ignited this conversation, I think that she always felt that her happiness was tied to a man, and she finally realized that, and I hope she really realized that it shouldn't be, and it's not. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
I hope she gets it too,
that's what I have to say about that.
because for me, when I became consistently at peace and happy with me, is when I took responsibility for it. When I took the responsibility, number one, not to put myself in situations that I know for sure will make me unhappy, right? Like, it's certain things I know that don't work for me. Why would I even bother? But somebody might offer that to me, but it's my responsibility to say no. It's my responsibility to say no. I'm not participating in that, because I know that doesn't work for me. So when I finally agreed to take responsibility for my own happiness, and also having a joy within me that's not tied to other people, and focusing on that and where that comes from, then it doesn't matter what's going on around me. It does, you know what I'm saying? And listen, that's not to say that it doesn't disturb me. For example, when I have family members who are, wishing me harm and stuff like that, it's not that it doesn't affect me, but I'm not going to allow that to take me into being unhappy just because they're unhappy.
And one more thing, I want to say, I noticed that. I mean, when you do find your own happiness, and you do realize that you're responsible for your own happiness, then your happiness doesn't fall too far from, you know from where it shouldn't be.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't.
exactly.
My happiness doesn't fall that far. I
No.
might be sad for a day or two
Right.
about something, but I'm I'm back to at a level where I'm functioning more. And I'm happy with who I am as a person. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm
So
not gonna let
yeah,
it go, but so far for me.
right.
If you bring in too much drama, trauma, or whatever, I'm cutting it off. I'm gonna step off. And that has nothing to do with you. That has to do with me. And that's my job. That's whose job I feel like it is for me to be happy. I don't feel like that's somebody else's job.
Would you cut me off?
Huh, would I cut you off?
Yeah.
What you mean?
Would you just say fuck you?
Oh my
You
God, here
didn't
we
have
go.
anything to do with
Listen, Mr. Sensitive.
Yeah, this is Mr. Fucking Sensitive.
Here we go. Here we
But I
go.
don't understand the question.
No.
Di, do you understand what he's saying?
No, I'm just saying, if you got mad, if you got mad at me, would you say fuck you? I don't want nothing to do with you no more.
No, not without a conversation or understanding or giving us an opportunity to fix it.
Yeah.
Unless you did something, in my estimation, that was
Totally.
There's no coming back from.
like nothing to come back from.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if you did that, you would already know why I wasn't talking to your ass. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be so bad. 1 second. It would be so bad that you would already know. But I'm a big believer.
I wouldn't.
Right.
I hope you know I would.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So I'm a big believer in communicating. I don't like that. When that happens, I don't like that. I'm talking about any relationship that I'm in, right? So if I'm saying I don't appreciate that, I don't like that, it don't work for me. And then you do it again, I'm gonna say, hey, I told you that, but you don't get the third time to do that. So But at that point, you would already know. If I cut you off, you already know why you got cut off. I don't need to have no more conversations with you. That's just the way I function.
Yourself.
Because I've already established with you what don't work for me. And that is not good. So I've already established that. We don't need to have no more I don't need closure. I don't need none of that shit. It's not working. You don't have the ability, or you don't care about how I feel about it. So then there's nothing else to talk about at that point for me. But if you commit something, you do something, for example, that offends me.
Yeah.
You may not even know that it's offensive or that it offended me. I feel like I'm obligated to at least tell you that.
Yeah.
To give, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I'm not being fair.
Right.
I'm not being fair. I'm holding you responsible, and I'm punishing you for something that you don't even know is a punishable offense, which I don't think is fair.
And you won't give me a chance.
And won't give you a chance to fix it.
Yeah, to respond.
Yeah, that's not good. But at the same time, if we've had a conversation about the same thing multiple times and you keep doing it, then I just step off. It's just easier for me that way.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not telling nobody else how to live, but I know what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to put up with it because it makes me upset.
You're not that type of person.
You see what I'm saying? So
okay, for happiness.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, what would it take for you to tell me to get fucked and stay away from you?
It would have to be something really, 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 really bad. And if it was that bad, literally, because I love you.
Yeah, I love
you know what I'm saying? I love you. And so, and I want the relationship that we have.
Yeah.
As crazy as it is, y'all, I don't know why I want the relationship. I probably need to go see somebody about that shit and figure out why.
See a psychiatrist.
No, I don't know why with this crazy ass. But I don't know. And then this one here, oh my God. And then it's just us. Oh my God. But whatever it is, I love this dude. And yes, I want to keep the relationship. So yes, I would come to you and talk to you. You know what I'm saying? And try to preserve the relationship.
I think I would.
And if I did something that offended you and you told me, I would try very hard never to do that again.
Yeah, I think
you know what I'm saying?
We have known each other long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, if you said something that I thought really offended me,
yeah,
I would stop and say, we need to talk.
Right.
We need to talk about this.
Right.
And get it straight.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was the other way around, I would expect the same.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know.
And that's simple. That's simple. Because no, I don't think it's right to hold somebody responsible for something they don't even know that they did wrong. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
But
go ahead.
I wanted to say one thing about this love language.
And, wait, let me make sure you're clear about what the conversation is. The conversation is whether or not it is a man or woman's responsibility to make their spouse or somebody happy. And my premise from the beginning is
no,
my happiness is my responsibility.
Right.
Your happiness is your responsibility. Right. Now, do we do things to try to enhance that? I think that's the way Rufus said it, or yes.
Rufus really hit on the head, because what it is, you have a relationship and everybody says an 80-20. And the reason why it says 80-20 is because you have 80% of making your own self happy. 20% of that happiness goes into the woman has 80% to validate herself, get her self-esteem ready to be the type of person that's going to make this relationship work. The other 20% goes in the general pot. Now we go in the general pot together and we talk about what's in the general pot. What could I do to enhance this relationship moving forward? And at the same time that I'm speaking, I'm also listening, because you're going to give me pointers off of what I'm saying. So I have to listen. But if it's something that I totally disagree with, like pork, totally disagree with, we don't have a middle bone with that.
Right.
So that right there is is it a deal breaker for you, or is it a deal breaker for me? Me, if you got your own place, fine and dandy. I don't put nothing in your fridge. when it come to my house, respect my house and understand we don't eat pork here. You know, point blank.
What black man don't eat pork?
Lots of them.
Oh,
Me,
What
Bubba.
kind of fucking shit
He
is
said
that?
he called him Bubba, y'all. You hear him call him?
Bubba.
He called him Bubba, y'all.
Yeah.
And see,
he
and
Bubba
Roberta,
Franks.
Miss Roberta, I want you to understand this. You didn't come here, and it's your fault that I am here with these two by myself.
You're a coward.
Oh,
I
don't be talking
apologize.
about my sister like that. She's
I
not no coward.
actually thought
I'm
we
talking
would have been
about
at the
you.
Sheik
Oh,
because it was
Jesus.
this game on.
Huh?
And I said I actually thought we would have been at the She Shack because the game is on.
Well, you know what? When I listen, this was the thing. I called I called Pike because I was like, if he's not coming down here, I knew Cheryl was out of town. I wasn't sure what was going on with you, but I was like, I'm not going to just leave my house and go down there by myself just to sit in that room. I could do that from the house. But anyway, Mr. James is here, so now I'm stuck, Roberta, with the two of them by myself. And I want you and Diane and Cheryl to know I'm holding y'all personally responsible for this, okay? All of this torture I'm going through. But Miss Cheryl, the topic tonight is I saw a post on Facebook with a young lady saying, well, whether it was talking about whether it was her husband's responsibility to keep make his wife happy. And I do not believe it's anybody's responsibility to make anybody else happy. And one of the
I believe this. This how.
Wait, 1 second. Let me just tell Michelle. I just want to finish this one sentence because this was something I thought about earlier when Rufus was talking, and that is that I cannot. The reason in the most painful relationship I ever had, it was the most painful relationship I ever had, and part of the reason that it was so painful is because I gave him the power over my happiness, and once I turned that over to him. He didn't know what the hell to do with it because he didn't know what to do with his own damn happiness.
Yeah.
So it was my responsibility to take my power back. And once I stopped looking at what he was doing, then I could look at what I was doing. Okay. And then I feel like, so that's the topic of conversation, Ms. Cheryl. Since you're coming in late, I just want you to know, kind of get caught up on where we are, what we're talking about. But it's so good to see your face. And I want to say, Mr. Javier,
Yes.
I don't think I've ever met you before. Have you ever been in a group before, Mr. Javier?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can one time.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. So I just had never I don't remember actually seeing you, but give me some feedback. What you think on the topic?
I was getting a lot of static from my phone. The room I'm in doesn't have too good of a reception. I only caught a little bit of what was being said.
Good parts or the bad parts?
He want to know whether it was the good parts or the bad parts. Anyway, welcome to the group. But hey, Mr. Hall, what was you over there telling Rufus that you didn't want to tell us? Mr. Hall? Unmute.
You know he can see all of you.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Now, what you were saying?
I said, what was you over there telling Mr. Rufus that you didn't want to tell the rest of us?
No, I was agreeing with him. Everything he said was on point. I feel the same way as far as you can't you have to get your happiness from yourself, and the only thing your mate can do is add to that happiness.
Wonderful.
So with Rufus and Summer, I was in agreement with him.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Di, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. But before you met your mate or your spouse or whoever, you already happy? You was waiting to get married to be happy? You should already be happy by yourself.
Right.
You know, you should be happy within yourself. And when you get with someone else, and you guys work together to make each other happy.
Right.
It's not one person's job in a marriage. It's two people to work together. But you should already be happy within yourself before you even get in a relationship.
Because if you're not,
relationship is not going to work.
Then you bring unhappiness with you.
Yep, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, you bring it. You bring it with you, and there's no amount of. That's the one thing I realized in that painful relationship was there was no amount of me doing or changing or adjusting my behavior or any of those things that was going to make him okay because he wasn't okay with himself.
With himself, right?
And also he also has some of them narcissistic tendencies, Diane.
Right.
So every time you reach this finish line, he gonna move
another one
line just a little bit more. Well, you didn't exactly do what I needed or whatever.
Right.
Because ultimately, I don't want you to. I don't want you to get to the finish line because then I got to be all
accountable.
Of the things I said accountable and all of them things I said I was going to be. If you just did this, then I'll be this.
Right.
I'll do this. If you hadn't done this, I wouldn't have done this. But when now I don't do that no more, and you still doing whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
See, so it was just a way to keep moving the finish line, and then you never can be held accountable because
you never make the
you never make the grade.
Right, because you steadily dangling the carrot in my face that I'm gonna never reach.
Right, you know I can't reach it
because I'm already
I'm not reaching it. It's like that commercial with that man with the fishing rod. He had that dollar on the end of it. And he thought that was funny as all get out, right? Yeah, because you can never reach that because ultimately I need to blame you because I take responsibility to be accountable for my own happiness.
Right.
And that's ultimately what people do. Mr. Sandoval, talk to me.
It's not so much what we want to happen, it's what can happen. Just sharing with another person and sharing with ourselves puts us in a situation that's beneficial to ourselves and another person. Being happy with ourselves and doing things that makes us comfortable and happy, people like to share that, just like they say, don't be with negative people, be with positive people. Well, if you want to be more happy and like being happy, be happy for yourself, and that sharing helps other people be happy for themselves, not happy for you. It's a give and take without giving or taking. You want to be in a positive environment. You know what I'm trying to say? If we're happy and we're with other people that they make themselves happy, then it's beneficial.
Right.
I've been with a couple women. I was married to two of them, and the number one thing that each of the women told me is it's not that they wanted tangible items and they wanted love. Yes, they wanted love and they wanted to be comfortable, but they wanted to be needed, but that need wasn't necessarily predicated on you physically making them comfortable or needed. The fact that you say, I like being with you and I'm more comfortable with you than being by myself. To them, that was the true need. A lot of women, they say they want to be loved. They say they want tangible items. But two of the best relationships I was ever in, the women didn't want the tangible things. They just wanted someone they were comfortable with because I was comfortable with myself.
Yeah. I can honestly say the things that I desire most in a relationship are not physical things. They're not material things. It's just not, because I could do that shit for myself. I don't need you to do that. I
ain't gonna ask how.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know either.
You know what? Don't be doing that. Do not attack her like that. Because don't do that.
I didn't attack nobody.
You did, both of y'all.
I just made a comment to her comment.
You did.
And you be quiet.
No, I'm not.
You ain't here. You
And I'm
hung
still
up.
not gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna be quiet. Now,
I don't want to hear it.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
you,
goodness.
you really sit over there and be quiet, Mr. James.
Mister.
All they do is fight.
Stinker.
No, what? Hit him in the throat.
I got him for you.
Thank you.
I got him. So listen, Mr. Steffens, talk to me.
Yeah. You know, when you talk about being happy, you know, when you look back at your course, your life course, and the time that you was unhappy, you know, I the last 30 years now, I've been on a quest of making myself happy and finding the things that will help me be happy. You know, I like a material life. You know, I like to have nice things. I would like to have a person to share those things with. But if that doesn't happen, the quest of making myself happy each and every day that I get up and I have life, I continue to go for that quest of being happy. So in the event that someone comes along and add on to that happiness, you have to first stop and think of what are you looking for in order to be happy. You know, you have to already have that figured out. And I started figuring that out years and years ago. And going to prison and having a life sentence and being in ridiculous situations where there was no such thing as being happy. But you had to make yourself be happy even in there because you had life. So it begins there. And, you know, today I'm just a happy soul, you know, and I continue to look for things and do things to continue to make me happy. You know, I enjoy the things I do. I enjoy the school. I enjoy the church gatherings. I enjoy the teaching of learning things to make me happy and make me feel love and make me be able to share that love one day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I really appreciate that. And Armando, talk to me. Wait. You're still mute. You're muted, honey.
Okay, I agree with what you're saying. I came to understand later on in life that I cannot blame others for my emotional state. You know, I feel this way. You know, you're making me mad. You know, my anger, I made myself mad. I mean, they were responsible in a way, but I cannot say that, you know, I'm getting angry. You're pissing me off. You're this and that. And I don't know if it's, if you guys can relate. I'm sure some of you guys can, but I grew up as a jealous man, as a jealous youngster. I was very jealous toward other guys. And later on, you know, I discovered that it was a deep insecurity about, you know, blaming this girl. What does this guy have that I don't have? Why, you know, he's going to steal her from me. But all of that came from blaming her. And, you know, you're going to come with me. And, you know, just that demanding she do this, demanding she don't show cleavage, demanding she wears longer dresses, demanding this. There was no, she was never going to satisfy my inner
insecurity.
My insecurity, no matter what she did, no matter how many demands I placed on her, and no matter how many demands she may have even followed, there was always going to be something I would peel away to try to, but it was all in my own self. It was all my own, like you said, you know, and I finally, you got to take responsibility for your own emotions, your own feelings, you know, and feelings aren't necessarily true. Just because I feel a certain way doesn't make it true. That's just something that I feel. You know, we could be watching a movie and it might be a horrible thing, and the guy next to you might laugh, and this guy might have tears. Oh, how could you laugh at something like that? So everybody has different ways they see things. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, you have to take responsibility for your own emotions, and placing that, like, you know, placing that on a woman or a female, placing that on a man is impossible. It comes from inside you.
I love the fact that you expanded it to all emotions, because that's true. Not just happiness. That is emotions, period. You cannot make me feel sad about
Yeah.
me. You can't. If you say something and I don't like it, I don't have to internalize that. I don't have to believe that to be true. But the reason that it will affect me and hurt me and make me feel sad and all those kinds of things is because I believe it or I accept it as truth, or
Right.
if there's any number of reasons why. But it is my choice to acknowledge those things and take that into myself. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And so I'm so glad that you expanded it to all emotions, because people, particularly abusers, say, well, I wouldn't have done that had you not done
Exactly.
whatever. Look
Yeah.
what you made me do. Calling bullshit on that. You didn't make
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what you
Calling
choose to
bullshit.
do.
Huh?
That was your choice to do that.
Exactly. It's not because somebody made you do anything. So I'm super, I'm glad that you expanded it to all emotions, because really that's what it is. It's like, even when we were talking the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the difference between feeling disrespected and being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
A feeling is a feeling. It doesn't mean that it's true. We feel what we feel because of what we entertain about ourselves.
Right.
And about the world around us.
Yeah.
And now, because it's 7:00, and I know I'm competing with the Lakers, I want to give everybody.
Oh, the Lakers.
The Lakers is on die. This one here had the nerve to put it on in my ear, right over here.
Fuck sports.
So what I want to do is I want to give anybody have any last comments, anything that you want to say, any last comments before we close out for tonight? Because again, I want to make sure that everybody has their chance to do what they need to do. And
Except Diane.
What do that mean, sir? Something wrong with your mouth. What's something wrong with your mouth? What's wrong with your mouth, sir?
There ain't nothing wrong. I need some teeth.
There was something hanging out your mouth. What was that?
You got any teeth?
Hey, that ain't right. You ought to leave that poor teethless man alone.
Look at that.
Hey,
No,
I just want to check out really fast.
You leave that poor teethless man alone.
Okay. All right, just for you.
Kid. Wait, Kid.
Just for you.
Bad enough he got the gum in his food. He having a hard enough time in life already.
Check out, brother.
But he can lick his tongue at me? Okay. Okay.
But Diane, this is what you don't realize. Kid can't see. So he didn't see him lick his tongue at you.
Oh, okay, Kid. Okay. My bad. Oh, I forgot.
So Kid didn't have all the information.
Yeah.
Kid didn't have all the information.
Don't be licking your tongue out at me.
Okay.
What I said.
But again, any last comments?
Tell her what I said.
What?
I want to say something.
Here now to watch the games.
I want to say something.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate this topic, because this topic has been, an important thing for me.
Okay.
And it's a big part of my foundation of who I am as a person. And I think that, it's helpful for everybody. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? It was for me too, Rufus. That was the thing, that when I saw that post, it became such a big part of how I began to heal and be whole, was to recognize that I was responsible for my happiness. I was also responsible to protect and guard my heart, that's nobody else's job. And once I accepted that as my responsibility, I've been much happier ever since then.
And I feel the same way.
Because like you said, I'm only gonna let it go so far.
Yeah.
Right. And the beauty of it is that I lost my chain of thought that
okay.
quick. But
that's okay. But I appreciate that.
It's all right. Thank you.
How you doing, honey? Cheryl? Unmute. Talk to me.
I've been at the doctor all morning, so I'm just back eating.
Okay, well, fast eat, honey. We love you. I can't wait to see you next week, hopefully. But just know that you're all loved and appreciated. I hope that you guys got something out of this group this evening. And go Lakers.
That's right.
Thank you, Noreen. Thank you.
Are they
All
winning?
right, have a good night.
Oh,
Have a good night.
Noreen, what's the
Thank you,
score?
Noreen.
Huh?
What's the score?
What's the score? I don't know. What's the score, y'all?
You're supposed to know the score, girl.
James, no.
72-54.
72-54. Who's winning?
Lakers.
Lakers, 72-54.
Wow.
Are they not winning? What? Michael, who winning?
I like your hair, Miss Cheryl.
I know.
It's girl, it is sweated back out.
It looks nice though.
Thank you.
Huh?
It was nice when it was done.
Noreen.
Uh-huh.
Die.
Huh?
Who's
Hold on, I'm gonna
winning
show
the
you
game,
where I'm at.
Michael?
Okay.
Who's winning the game?
I can't
The
see. You
Lakers
gotta
are
call me.
losing.
I'm gonna
The
call you
Lakers
right
are
now.
losing 52-74.
Thank you.
Miss
Appreciate
Cheryl,
you. All right, y'all.
I'm finna
All right,
call you
Noreen,
right
have a good
now.
one. Have a good night.
Have a good one, y'all. Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
I gotta go watch the
Bye.
game.